Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootleggers, shows, desolators, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, music fans. Yes, it's that time again. As my regulars know, I do occasional videos about music, particularly when icons have passed, musical legends. There's no real rhyme or reason to who I decide that I'm going to do a video on, although it generally has to do based on one, my personal experience, how important they were to me in my musical experiences over the years, as well as what was their contribution. And so there seems to be some glaring omissions about who I cover, but in the end, I try to cover people who really are underdogs. I've become a champion of the underdog. No surprise there. So what we have is the passing of Andy Fraser, the bass player for the band Free. And most people are familiar with the band Free from their huge international hit, All Right Now, which has been a regular on the radio ever since it was first released in, I believe, 1970. Huge hit. Pretty catchy tune, but as with so many bands, their hits are hardly their best material, although some would argue that. But Andy Fraser was an interesting character for a number of reasons. One, the age he started. He was only 62 when he died last week, March 17th, I believe. And he joined John Mayall's Blues Breakers when he was only 15 years old. And he was 16 when he joined Free in 1968. And the original lineup of Free was together from 1968 to roughly 1972, 1973. At that point, new members were brought in, including a bass player to replace Andy Fraser. And so Andy Fraser moved on to make records with the Andy Fraser Band, as well as a very free-influenced band called Sharks, with the equally legendary guitar player Chris Spedding. So anyway, let's get back to Free. One of the reasons why Andy Fraser is a giant is because at the age of 16 and joining this group Free, not only did he co-write and write most of all the material of the original band, but he was noted for his very spare melodic style of playing, which also included not being afraid to use the high register. So it gave Free a very interesting sound, very economical sound, a very stark sound. They were not. They had a lot of kinship with bands of the era, but also notable by the fact that they were so understated. And Andy Fraser's bass playing and writing had everything to do with how Free sounded, and an interesting combination of musicians. Paul Kossoff, the legendary guitarist of Free, who died later from complications from years of heroin addiction, but very distinguished and distinctive guitarist in his own right. And of course, Paul Rodgers on vocals, who went on to Bad Company, and then Simon Kirke on drums, who also went on to Bad Company. And Free were definitely the sum of their parts, but as the years go on, I've grown to appreciate Andy Fraser's complete vision in that band. In a lot of ways, it ends up being his band, and he will be missed. And his work with the Andy Fraser Band was also actually quite notable, as well as his work with Sharks, and his distinctive style noted on there. And so he did a lot of other work over the years, but I'm just going to focus in on that moment when his star shone the brightest with the group Free. Amazing bass player, amazing writer, and a great musician who will be missed. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.